Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, welcome to the 14th 1-4 EDP Norfolk Food and Drink Awards, which has one aim: to celebrate all that is great about Norfolk's distinctive food and drink. As the new editor of the Eastern Daily Press, I'm thrilled that tonight marks my first official engagement in Norfolk. As you might just be able to see, I have an appetite and love of all things food, so tonight's event couldn't be more appropriate in terms of a debut. Norfolk's food industry, from producers, suppliers and retailers, through to restaurateurs and on to customers, is at the very heart of our local economy's well-being. It is vitally important that we do all we can to ensure that the incredible story of Norfolk's diverse range of quality food and drink continues to be spread throughout the county and beyond its borders. Great food produced locally is an intrinsic part of what makes somewhere a great place to be in, to live in and to work. There is no doubt that Norfolk's food and drink plays a major part in our distinctive and much envied way of life. I'm very much aware that the Eastern Daily Press has been a champion of the county's food industry for many years, including being an active supporter of the Adnams Norfolk Food and Drink Festival, which receives tremendous support from our friends at Norfolk County Council. Our role is to continue to tell our readers, through fascinating news stories and supplements, of the hugely important role the food industry plays in the economy of our county. Through information and education for people of all ages, we can help support your organisations and promote the vital roles you play. In partnership with our great friends at EDP Norfolk magazine and Angi, tonight's event is a major part of our year, one we're delighted to host here at the recently opened and impressive Norfolk Showground Arena. In the coming weeks and months, I will be immersing myself in all things food and will ensure that the EDP continues to play its part in wholeheartedly supporting your industry. On top of that important role, I shall be a passionate advocate for all things local. My titles will be dedicated advocates of all things Norfolk. It remains for me to wish you all a wonderful evening. I've seen the preparations, it's a fantastic evening set ahead. And now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Angi Kennedy, editor of the EDP Norfolk magazine.
Thank you, Nigel. A very warm welcome to everyone here tonight on behalf of EDP Norfolk magazine too. Well, our Norfolk motto is to do different, so we've decided to do just that this evening with a little bit of a special twist on our usual gala ceremony. The first difference, of course, is the wonderful new venue that we have here at the Showground Arena. And it's so fitting, we feel, that these awards that celebrate the cream of the county's food and drink industry should be right here tonight at the heart of the county's agricultural heritage. In keeping with our venue, we've opted for a county show dress code this evening. And I know that several of you, in the light of the recent weather that we had during the summer, were suggesting that would mean wellies and raincoats. But having judged the best dressed showgoer at the Royal Norfolk Show this year, I'm really pleased to see that there's some potential contenders here this evening. Another difference that we have this evening is our host. In recent years, we've been lucky enough to have the Look East presenter and our magazine columnist, Susie Fowler-Watt, but she's otherwise engaged at the moment with her baby due tomorrow morning. So this evening, we're very lucky instead to have the very capable and charming David Whiteley from Inside Out, Look East and BBC Radio Norfolk's Saturday morning show. What hasn't changed about the ceremony tonight, though, is our focus on these very special awards. It's been a real privilege to be involved in the judging process again this year. And what's been so noticeable, and I'm sure that many of my fellow judges will agree, is the standard of creativity, commitment, and the real sense of community amongst our finalists. The food and drink industry reaches right across business, tourism, and hospitality, and the fantastic work that you're doing is really helping to drive not only our economy, but also our national reputation of the county's food offering. Together, you're showing not only does Norfolk do different, Norfolk does brilliantly. Now, we're in for an evening of great food, good company, and some really worthy winners. So let me hand you over to David, who will explain a little bit more about what's happening this evening.
Did you say charming?
I did say charming.
Charming, yeah.
Charming and capable.
You read my writing all right then. Thank God for that. Thank you very much.
Except the payload.
So, are you all drunk yet? No? Right, start again. So everyone's in? Everyone's in for the EDP Norfolk Food and Drink Awards 2012? Everyone's in, yes? Everyone's here? Good, lock the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the EDP Norfolk Food and Drink Awards 2012. Now, it's fantastic to be here and to be presenting tonight's awards. As I think you just heard from Nigel and from... Is someone all right there? You okay? Do we need to get a medic? Have they just seen the bill of what it's going to cost tonight? Now, we're very lucky to be here, surrounded by wonderful food producers, chefs, brewers, restaurateurs, and all-round foodies, really. So if the meal is below par tonight, then questions will be asked, heads will roll. Now, I'm a bit of an import myself. I came to Norfolk 11 years ago. I keep trying to leave, but the food's fantastic and the roads are terrible, so I just can't get out. Norfolk, as you'll agree, is a very special place. The landscape, the scenery, but above all, it's the people that make Norfolk. Whether they're born and bred here or they've chosen to make Norfolk their home, it is the people that count. And of course, it's the people that make the places we eat and drink at and what we eat and drink. Now, I'm not going to start naming names and telling you, my favorite places to eat, my favorite places to drink, my favorite Norfolk brands, because of course, I work for the BBC and impartiality is key. But if someone would like to buy me 12 pints of Adnams, I'll gladly spill the beans and tell you exactly where I like to eat and drink. Tonight we celebrate everything that's right with the food and drink world in Norfolk, and there is lots to celebrate, especially when you look around this room. Okay, it's a bit like the dynasty of the food world. Okay, in Norfolk, there's a lot of food talent here. We can make an epic version of "Come Dine with Me," couldn't we? We could just film it tonight, and you would be ever immortalised for all eternity on More 4 and E4, and whatever you turn on Channel 4, you will see yourselves on there. I think that what makes this special is the fact that Norfolk food is so wonderful. When I first came up to Norfolk, as I said, 11 years ago, I didn't really kind of get the whole kind of good food thing. I'm from Essex, so I didn't kind of get the kind of, good produce. And then I started going to places in the county and realized just how special it was and what a great place it is with really passionate people who really care about what they make, what they serve. And also seeing the reaction they get from their customers and from their clients. And I think that's something that is very important, especially, I'm a dad, we've got a 2-year-old, and we very rarely go out, because it's impossible to go out. My wife works most nights of the week, just to get away from me. So we tend to spend the money on better food instead, and I think that is something that has come out of the last few months, the last couple of years, where people aren't necessarily, going out to restaurants, aren't necessarily kind of going away on holiday, but they're spending money on better quality food. And I think that, that is something that we have an abundance of here in Norfolk. Let's get things started. During your dinner tonight, we will be asking you to take part in a food-related pub quiz. Who likes pub quizzes? Okay, don't all shout at once, will you? It's in association with the National Trust. You'll find an answer card and pen on the table, and work together as a team to give us the answers to the questions about the iconic videos. They're going to be playing on the screens either side without any sound now, but later they will have some sound on them. So we'll see them again a bit later on. Before tonight's award presentations begin, answer sheets will be collected after the last question, and the prize is a National Trust family pass for each person on your table. So good luck. Are you ready to eat? Are you ready to drink? Oh, you're not that enthusiastic about drinking tonight, are you? Are you ready to drink? Yeah. Good, because by the time we come back on stage, I want you a bit more lively, okay? So in 2 hours' time, you can get well oiled, and then we'll have a great time when the awards start this evening. We've got 14 awards to get through, and I know it's going to be a great evening. So give yourselves a round of applause, because everybody here is already a winner for being in this room tonight. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to dine. Would you please welcome Mr. Johnny Hustler, Managing Director of Arch and Anglia, who wishes to say a few words, and then Grace.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely to see everyone here. You've met the new editor of the EDP tonight, or you will. You've heard him speak. Just before we say grace, I'd like to pay a tribute to the outgoing editor of the EDP, to Peter Waters, who I believe is here tonight. Lovely to see you, Pete. Peter has been a great champion of local food and tourism particularly. His simple philosophy was that, if people eat local food, it'll mean that local people get jobs, and local jobs are good for Norfolk, and you can't question that. But his passion for local food and all things to do with the Norfolk Food and Drink Festival has been fantastic. It's probably an exaggeration to say that this event wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for Peter, but it's a very close-run thing. I think we owe him a great debt, and I think the food industry of Norfolk owe Peter a great debt. I do hope that he does continue with the Norfolk Food and Drink Festival, and they still use Peter and his great talents. And I can promise everyone that Archant certainly will be supporting and continue to support the Norfolk Food and Drink Festival, certainly just so long as the council and Adnam support it anyhow. It's a bit of an encouragement to them. But we think it's a marvellous thing, and I promise you that we'll give it our wholehearted support in all the coverage and support that we normally do. Anyhow, I think if any of you got a drink, let's just raise a glass and thank Peter for his hard work. Thank you, Peter. And then perhaps we could be upstanding for grace. Dear Lord, we thank you for good friends, marvelous local food and drink, and the fantastic farmers who produce it. Amen.